I did hear before I came up a reminiscence of before I even became governor, we came out and said when Airbnb was trying to discriminate against Jews in Israel who lived in Judea and Samaria, we said, that's not going to fly in Florida. And when I become governor in however many weeks, we're going to take action. And we did. And you know what? And you know what happened? We beat Airbnb. They folded because we stood up and applied pressure of our BDS legislation. So we were happy to do that then. We were also happy to apply the pressure of our BDS legislation against Ben & Jerry's when they decided they wanted to discriminate. We have, in the state of Florida, signed, and I actually signed this legislation during the trade mission that we took to Israel in 2019. And we signed legislation which is the strongest anti-Semitism legislation anywhere in the country at the U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem. When I was a congressman, which I was for a few years, and I've recovered from that experience and happy to be out of the swamp, but when I was there, I was one of the leading advocates for relocating our embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. And I was because, one, I understood that Jerusalem is the undivided and eternal capital of the Jewish people. Two, I know that Americans and Congress and presidents have promised to move the embassy for decades. And when Donald Trump made the decision to do it, he was the first one that actually followed through on those promises. And I knew that was important because in the Middle East, when you show strength, that's what those countries respect. And I really believe that if you hadn't done the embassy to Jerusalem, in addition to pulling out of the Iran deal, but if you hadn't done those two things, you would never have had things like the Abraham Accords. They saw that America meant business. And so we're happy to have been involved in that. You know, I'm looking at this. There's this lieutenant governor nominee who's a teachers union boss, and she was sympathetic when Castro died. She wanted to lock the kids out of school. She had this one guy that was in her inner circle that was sexually abusing these students, and people knew this was going on. Come on. She also opposed moving the embassy to Jerusalem. How do you oppose moving the embassy to Jerusalem and running for lieutenant governor in the state of Florida? So I'm happy that I ran in 2018 saying we were going to be the strongest pro-Israel governor in America. And like everything else I promised, I have delivered.